Cat people, how are you today? I am Catlady Antigoni and today I'm ranking all my rainbow palettes! Before we start with the actual video, let me tell you that if you're interested about this makeup that you see on my face, I have filmed already a step-by-step tutorial for this channel. It's the Get Ready With Me where I'm talking about tattoos, and hopefully it's gonna be up by the time that you're watching this video. Also, if you're curious about my jewelry, like my necklace, my earrings and my bracelet, all of them are a very kind gift from my friend Sunny's, and if you want to check her channel, I will make sure that I will leave it at my description box. Now, what are we doing today? Today I have brought all my rainbow palettes. Give me a second, I want to show you all these, and we are about to rank them from the worst to the best. I don't necessarily use all of them, but I love the concept of rainbow makeup, rainbow palettes, rainbow everything. And if you're ready, let's dive into the video! At number 12, I have a collaboration palette. Oh my god, I realized that it looks awful on the screen with all those reflections, but in real life it looks so beautiful. The palette is the collaboration between Illuminati or Tiffany and Makeup Obsessions. I don't think that Makeup Obsessions is a thing anymore. Makeup Revolution, which was the parent company, still exists, obviously, but I don't think that Makeup Obsessions exist anymore. Well, this is the palette. This is a very beautiful color scheme. You can find all of the shades of the rainbow inside there, but let me tell you, it didn't age very well, because the quality nowadays, and if I compare with some other beautiful palettes that I have in my collection, is not as good, so that's why it ranked so low. I don't use this palette at all these days, and when I use it, or when I tried to use it, I was super disappointed with the quality. Of course, when I bought it, the quality was decent. It wasn't mind-blowing or anything like that, but these days, no. I don't reach about this palette almost at all, I would say, and I tend to forget that I have it in my collection. I mean, I never think about this palette when I'm thinking of all these colors, and I have dupes in other palettes. Unfortunately, so beautiful, but not so good, I would say. Moving on to place number 11, and here again we have a collaboration and a huge palette. Here I'm showing you the collaboration between James Charles and Morphe. Let me show you the palette. Oh my god, this palette is so well used. This palette was actually a gift from my dear friend Aphrodite, and let me tell you, I had a lot of fun working with this palette. Look at the white shade right here. I didn't break it, I just finished it. I hit pan in how many eyeshadows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh my god, this is even crazy, right? I used this palette a lot for when I was doing my body paints, and I was covering all the oily parts with eyeshadows to make them a little bit more matte and opaque and stuff like that. If you watch my older videos, you will understand, you will see this palette a lot. When it comes to quality, again, I think that it didn't age very well, since nowadays I have way better palettes in my collection, but this is a staple to me. I mean, I feel so happy and I get so many memories when I'm looking at this palette, at this color scheme, that I don't think that I will declutter it soon, but I don't reach for it these days at all. It's like Illuminati. Of course, the quality here is way better than the other one, which is called Kaleidoscopic Dreams, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the name. But again, I don't feel that this is enough for me these days, if you know what I mean. Do you have this palette? Do you have an opinion about this palette? And if you have this palette, are you still using it these days? We are continuing with another collaboration. So, at place number 10, we have the collaboration between Evelina Foschel and Cosmify. Cosmify, if you didn't know this, it is an Italian indie brand. The palette looks like this. It's a very well used palette, as you can see yourself, and I loved this palette quite a lot. I think it was one of the favorite products of 2021, if I'm not mistaken. But again, I'm gonna say exactly the same thing that I said before. It didn't age very well. Although that I have hidden pan to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 9 eyeshadows, I don't find myself looking for this palette anymore. I don't use this palette anymore, and I've even forgotten the color scheme. I mean, I was wanting some nice yellow. It was yesterday or the day before, and I didn't even think about this palette, and now I see it and I say to myself, okay, there we have some yellow, but no, it didn't even cross my mind. So it's a bit sad to see in general palettes that have been loved so much by me not being used that much, but you know, it is what it is. I have better quality, and of course I'm not gonna risk having a bad makeup just to use one of the old favorites, I would say. But I feel like I want to use it even for a last time, although that I might risk some things. All in all, beautiful palette. There are better things out there. Place number 9, and surprise, surprise, we are having another collaboration here. I'm gonna tell you about the collaboration between Nikki Tutorials and Beauty Bay. And to me, I would almost say that ranking this palette in the 9th position, it's a bit unfair because quality-wise, it's a very nice palette, and unlike what I said about all the other palettes until now, it aged very well. And ironically enough, the palette that I have at number 8 doesn't satisfy me as much quality-wise as this palette, but the reason that I have ranked it at number 9 is because I kind of have forgotten about this palette. This palette is so beautiful, and I have hidden pans as well there. Just one though. No, actually it's not one. We have one here, which is the Amsterdam, and one pan here at the Redemption eyeshadow. And I was saying, like, I just have forgotten about it. I never think about this palette. I don't use it at all these days, and I think that I need to do something about it because it's really beautiful and the quality is really high. So I don't know, like, the color scheme is not inspiring to me anymore. It used to be very nice and inspiring color scheme for me, but I don't know, it even has duochromes. Among my first duochromes that I had in my collection, I found them here in this palette. So definitely I need to place it a bit higher at my drawers, so to remember it a little bit more. Also, I feel that the black packaging doesn't really help me because it's so black and it doesn't remind me of the theme of the palette. So I think that's the reason. All in all, Nikki Tutorials has done a perfect job. Once again, this palette is so beautiful and I just have to use it more. At number 8, we have the first palette in this video which is not a collaboration, and I'm talking about Oud & Sai and their Elevadvo palette. Let me show you how it looks inside. It's a very pretty palette, and I don't know if you can see the rainbow theme that is going on there, but to me it's quite obvious. Yes, I feel guilty because the quality of this palette is not higher than Nikki Tutorials, but as I told you, I reach for this palette a bit more often than I do for Nikki Tutorials, and I felt that this was fair for me to rank it there. When it comes to the shimmery eyeshadows, I'm not 100% happy. Oud & Sai back then haven't found this fantastic formula that they have these days. Also, we have 2 glitters here. I don't know, for a lot of people, having a glitter in their palettes is a negative thing, a bad thing. I don't feel this way, to be honest. Like, I don't mind having glitters. I quite enjoy having glitters because to me, I feel that they're giving me more options when it comes to makeup. I have more inspiration when I see glitters, and all their shifts, they're so magical, especially this one, which is called Pop Rocks. It's so beautiful. Let me bring it closer so you can admire it with me. So all in all, I feel it's a very nice and spring-ish palette, but I don't reach it that much, first of all, and secondly, I'm not happy with the quality, especially now that I know what Oulac can do quality-wise. No, this is a bit weak. Very, very beautiful and magical though. At number 7, I have a palette from a small Danish indie brand. The palette is called Stay Wild and the brand is called Brag Beauty. I have no idea how they are doing these days because of course I'm following them on Instagram. By the way, this palette was given to me as a PR, and of course I follow them on Instagram and I saw that they are having some huge sales and they are saying like sold out and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if you can find the brand anymore, if this palette is available. I have no idea. I feel that they are out of business, but please don't quote me on this. I will have their name down at my description box so you can go and check their Instagram by yourself. Also, I don't know when I'm gonna upload this video, so the information that I'm giving you right now might be outdated when you are watching. Anyway, let's talk about the palette and the color scheme a bit. I love this palette. It's one of the perfect spring-ish palettes for me. I get so much spring and summer vibe and I'm so happy every time I'm looking at it. The only reason that I have ranked it quite low, I would say, is that I just have forgotten about it a little bit, or I just don't use these colors these days at my makeup looks. Quality-wise is a very nice palette. Of course, we don't have like duochromes or very shifty metallics. Maybe that's why I kinda subconsciously thought that other palettes deserve a higher place, but their metallics are beautiful and their mattes are super buildable and blendable. I don't feel like I'm super impressed with the metallics. I mean, in the sense that they are not doing anything special. Otherwise, I can work with them very nicely without any issues, and I think that I want to use it a bit more because it's a beautiful palette. I don't know if I'm gonna do it on YouTube though, because it's again a palette that probably you cannot find out there. So I don't want to create any type of negative emotions to you, although that I always say at my videos, don't try to get all the palettes that I'm using. It's unnecessary. If you have them, great. If you don't have them, just do the color scheme. It's not that difficult, okay? Let's move on. At number 6, we have one of my favorite palettes of 2021. I know it's been a while that I've ever said anything about this palette on my channel. I just don't reach for it that much because I have something better these days. But of course, this palette was one of my favorites back in the day. That's why I have ranked it quite high in comparison with some others. The quality is very nice, but these days I have something even better quality-wise. That's why I don't use it that much. But as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3 pans. I have loved this palette. I mean, it's the perfect pastel palette. It's not huge, it's not overwhelming. Although that I don't feel overwhelmed by big palettes, they are fine, I still love them. All palettes are good palettes, we're not palette racist here. Anyway, I love the color scheme because you can find everything. You can find a very nice baby blue, 2 shades of pink, one more cool tone, one more warm tone. You can find this amazing light purple. I have used it a lot as a contouring shade when I was doing fairy or mermaid makeup looks. It's perfect. Here we have a very beautiful cool toned yellow, and it's quite rare to me to find a cool toned yellow because most of the palettes, when they are doing yellows, they are going more to warm tones that I don't really enjoy, and they don't look as amazing on my skin because I have cool undertone. So all in all, this palette was amazing. I think it is still available if you want something like that as a color scheme, and if you want a small palette, I think it's a great idea to buy it, but you don't have to if you have dupes of the eyeshadows. At place number 5, we have another palette from Oulac. I'm about to tell you about Solomon et Vaux, again a very beautiful palette. I feel that from this point the quality of the palettes that I'm gonna present to you is equally beautiful. They are all magical and amazing, so I don't find any point talking about the quality or comparing qualities. All of them are top notch. It's just a matter of preference and just a matter of what I personally am using in my everyday makeup, at my makeup routine and stuff like that. This is the palette, by the way. I mean, look at this packaging. If Oulac knows to do something amazing, this is packaging. It's just magical. Now look at this rainbow palette. It has everything except from red, which I don't like as a color, so this made me extra happy. We can see all the shades of the rainbow, but with a little twist, I would say. So instead of blue, you see this kind of like baby blue. Instead of green, you see this amazing color. And all in all, I'm amazed by the quality. They have found the perfect formula for their special eyeshadows, their multichromes or duochromes according to the palette, that it's not creasing on my extremely oily eyelids. And I think that this was the first palette that has this formula, so it's just great to me, because I have always been in love the Oulac quality and the Oulac color stories, but to me it was a huge problem that I could not enjoy their special eyeshadows to the full. So when this palette actually became available, I was like, yes, finally they have found it. It's just a beautiful palette. Most of the duochromes that you see here are sheer, they're not opaque, but to me this is making things even more magical. They give me a fairy vibe, and I try to layer them one on top of the other, and the result is just pretty. Very beautiful. Did you miss collaboration palettes? Because at place number 4 we have another collaboration with fictional characters this time. Well, I'm talking about the collaboration between Colourpop and Wings. Oh my god, look how beautiful is this palette. Now it's kinda like a pastel rainbow. I wouldn't say it's 100% to the pastel side, but it has a very strong pastel element, and that's why I love it a little bit more. I love pastel colors, like they really speak to me. When it comes to the quality, is amazing. Colourpop, when they are doing collabs, they are absolutely killing it. I love the color story, it's so magical. And actually we have a duochrome from Colourpop. I think it's my first duochrome when it comes to Colourpop, and I think it's quite nice. It's not as impressive as some other duochromes that I have from smaller brands in my collection, but it's a very beautiful palette. I love the mattes with the shimmers. They are so beautiful, and if you don't like the shimmers, you can keep blending and you don't have shimmers anymore. It's such an amazing and dreamy palette. To me, again, it brings me spring vibes. I think the rainbow as a theme is bringing me spring vibes, and I feel so inspired every time that I see this palette. Bonus points for this color right here, which is called Nature Symphony. Such an amazing name, because it's a very nice cool toned green to blue, and the shimmers in it, they are just magical. And for number 3, we are traveling back to Sweden to talk about another Swedish indie brand. This time we're about to talk about Glossgods and their palette Look for Rainbows. This palette is so pretty. Can you see all the reflections here? Just magical. I have hidden 1, 2, 3, 4 bands already. Oh my god, that's crazy. But I basically reach for this palette in almost every makeup that I'm doing. I find it so pretty, and I feel that it's giving you so many options when it comes to special eyeshadows, and to me this is great. It's a very well used palette. My only critique when it comes to this palette is that their eyeshadows, especially the more flaky ones, like the colors here, this one which is called Raindrops and this one which is called Broken Light, they are creasing a bit on my eyelids. I do not necessarily blame Glossgods for this. I know what I'm dealing with, and you know what I'm dealing with as well, but let me tell you that I have found palettes which are not creasing. Oulac is an example of this, but the reason that I ranked this palette quite high, top 3 I would say, is because I reach for it all the time. Whenever I'm thinking about rainbowish, duochrome, metallic, super shifty eyeshadows, I'm going there and I'm really enjoying watching all the shifts and all the amazing things that this palette can do. Is this unfair for the other palettes? Well, I don't know, but it's a matter of personal preference in the end, so that's why this palette has a place in top 3, a place in my heart. We are at the top 2 of my rainbow palettes, and at number 2 I have Blend Money and their palette Surge. Look at this beauty. I mean, in this palette you can find anything you want to create the perfect rainbow look. It has a row of neons. I mean, a row of neons is super stunning and amazing, and I love having palettes with neons, and I know how hard it is for brands to create good quality neons, and Blend Bunny has done it successfully. They are so amazing, so pigmented. It's very hard to have pigmented neons in a palette. I have seen pigmented neons as like loose eyeshadows, but not in a palette. I have seen in a palette, they're not good quality. Here we have everything, we have the best quality. Again, here we have a row of pastels, I mean neons and pastels at the same palette. Mind blowing! I love this palette, and I love how she has created even the vertical rows with the gradients of the colors. I mean, this palette can guide you in a lot of different looks, but personally I don't want to just take a row or a column of colors. I just want to look at it, be inspired, and create my own makeup combinations, makeup looks. You know me at this point. This palette is a gem. I feel that for what it offers is just amazing. I love how Blend Bunny is putting a lot of thought in her palettes. I have 2 more palettes from here. I have the Lure and I have the Dollhouse, if I'm not mistaken. All of them top notch. I highly recommend you to try Blend Bunny if you're curious about her palettes or her color stories. She's doing an excellent job. And now it's time for the Greek word of the day. In this whole video we are talking about rainbows, rainbow palettes, rainbow things in general. So that's why I'm gonna tell you the Greek word for rainbow. And in Greek we say ουράνιο τόξο. Say with me. Ουράνιο τόξο. Ουράνιο τόξο. 2 words here. As always, I'm gonna ask you to try to write a comment down below using the word ουράνιο τόξο, or actually tell me the word in your own native language. And now it's time for number 1. Editor, can I have some drum roll, please? Ta-da! Here we have from Glamlight the Ice Cream Dream palette. I love everything that has to do with this palette, from the stunning packaging, it's so beautiful, to the actual palette. Let me take it out, let me show you with the big ice cream here and the popsicles. Look how fun it is to use it. Oh my god, I love it. And of course, as a favorite rainbow palette, I chose the one with the pastels. Of course, I know I do not surprise anyone at this point, but I just love this palette. You can find anything that you want, rainbow wise, pastel wise. You can even find some colors which are not that much to the pastel side, and I love how many options is this palette giving you. To me, this is perfect. It fully replaced the pastels from Beauty Day, and I mean, the quality here is way higher, and Glamlight has this amazing shimmer formula that does not crease on my eyes, and this is truly amazing. You might feel like it's kind of weird that I haven't included a palette with a lot of duochromes and shifty colors, but to me, even if this palette does not have all of these, it's a perfect palette because we have this kind of like pastel rainbow rose. Here we have a lot of beautiful shimmers to pair these pastels, and then on top we have 2 rows with a bit more dark colors but to the pink side, and I love it. We have an inner corner highlighter, and we have some very very beautiful colors in order to create amazing shimmery color combinations. I love this palette. I cannot describe how much I love it. Is it gonna be the favorite product of 2023? It's very possible that this palette is gonna be the favorite product. It's still June when I'm filming this video, so I don't want to say any big words right now, but I'm using it a lot at my makeup looks. So all in all, you can understand how much in love I am with Glamlight, with this palette, with everything that they are doing. And in general, I don't know if you have tried Glamlight. If yes, please tell me what's your opinion about it. If not, and if you are in the market for a palette, if you're not, just ignore this part, just give Glamlight a try. Of course, if you don't want to buy anything, if you're in a low buy, you don't have to be influenced from my words. You don't need anything more in your collection. I'm sure that you have enough products, but if you're in the market, it's a great choice. And that was it. This was our video for today. I don't know how many times I said the word rainbow, but it's such a beautiful word, right? Anyway, if you like this video, don't forget to like it officially on the YouTube, leave a comment, and of course consider subscribing to my channel. I also have a TikTok and Instagram account, and everywhere my username is Catlady Antigoni. If you follow me there, I will be very happy. Well, that was it for today. See you next time with a makeup tutorial, and until then, bye bye!